All right. Yeah, welcome back to my class again today. In the last class, we did the try except S block in error handling, right? So today we are going to do the last part of exception handling, which is what? The finally block. So in this class, we are going to do try except S finally block, right? And then in the next class, we are going to do assertion. I told you these are the two features in Python that you can use to handle runtime error. So today's class, we are going to look at runtime error handling, right? We are still on that. This is what we are doing. So today we are going to look at the finally part, right? Finally block. Yeah, finally block. Now, why do you need this finally block? In a situation where you want to release the resources, even if there's an error. For example, you open a file and then you write to the file or you read from the file, and then there's an error. You want to still release the resources. Because when you want to carry out your calculation, like the calculation we've been doing, there are resources that are going to use. What if there's an error? You need to release those resources. Isn't that so? Now, that code, whether there's an error or there is no error, once you finish your program executes successfully, you need to release those resources. That is when you use this finally block. Even if there's an error, you still have to release the resources. That is the place where you put the code that will do that under this finally block. So let's still use our VaraMath calculation to do this. So I'm going to define my function, def VaraMath, and then I'll say A, B, C, and D, right? Then I will go in and I will do my try block, right? Inside my try block, I'm putting my code, which is what? Result, and then A divided by B times C plus D. If you have been following me, you will have been used to this equation by now, right? So result, assign the value of this result into this. Then I will now come to my except block. So should there be error, like zero division error, zero division error, go in and print out error, cannot divide by zero, right? Close this. Now that is if there is an error. This is what you should print out. Else, right? Print calculation successful, and then calculation successful, result is, right? Then close this one, result. Then you close this. So you put comma here. So calculation successful, result is result, which is what? This will be printed out. Now, this is the last one we did in the class. I want to bring this in. Finally, this finally block is print. Here, I will just, if you are writing a program, you can write a proper code in this place. But just for the sake of this class and for it not to be too long, I'm just going to write something as a printout. Perform housekeeping. right? So this is my code. Now this is my function. When I execute this program, when I call this function and supply parameters to it, if the calculation is done successfully, it will come here, perform this calculation. If there is no error, it will come to this S block and it will print out calculation successful. Result is, it will bring out whatever is stored inside this result. Once that is done, it will now come here and say perform housekeeping. Now, in a proper program, this should have been another function that is to be done here, which means close the file, right? That should have been done here and release the resources so that release memory space, release everything that you were using to do this calculation, release them. Now, so this will be printed and then this will be printed. But if there's an error based on the value that I'm going to supply, it will raise that error here, which is what? Zero division error, and then it will capture it by printing out error cannot divide by zero. Then it will come and print out perform housekeeping, meaning release all the resources. So whether there is an error or there's no error, this part must always be printed. That is the meaning of this finally block, right? So that is that. So if I decide to call this now by saying viral math, right? And then I supply 8, 2, 2, and 2. Yeah. This one will print out, it will print out this and this. But if I change this place to 8, 0, 2, 2, and I'm calling this viral math, what this one will do, it will print out this, right? And then it will print out this. That is what this will give to me. So this first one will print out this and give me the value of result. While this one will print out this error message and then to print out this. So that is what I have to show you in this class. So let's go to the PyCharm and let me demonstrate this for you to see. So in the next class, I'll be teaching you assertion, another way to handle runtime error. So let's go to PyCharm. So this is our PyCharm. So let's demonstrate what I showed you on the board. So I'll just click on File, Try, Except, Else, Finally, .py, right? Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. Define viral math, and then supply A, comma, B, comma, C, comma, D. Then I will go in and I will say try, the try block, and I will do result, right? Then I will assign the calculation to it, which is A divided by B, then multiply, and then inside the parentheses I have C plus D, right? This is my calculation. Then I will come to except zero division, that is it, okay? Then I will go in and I will say print error. Division by 0 is not allowed. Then I'll come here and I'll say else, the else block, else, right? Print calculation successful, right? Result is, then I'll come here and I'll say result, right? This is a string literal that I want to print out on the screen. Then I am now accessing this my result variable to see the value that is inside. Then I will come here and I will say finally block, right? Print perform housekeeping. All right, so this is it. I'm going to call my var math. So I'm going to call it, and then I'm going to supply 8, 2, 2, 2. While this one, I am going to call it again, or I'll just copy this. I'll paste it, and then I will give you 0. All right, so I'm going to execute my program, and then you will see, you see, the first one printed out calculation successful. Result is 16. Then it printed out perform housekeeping. That is for this first one. The second one printed out error, division by 0 is not allowed. Perform housekeeping. So in both of them, this finally block is executed. It's executed for this one and it's executed for this. So like I said, if in a case where you open a file and you finish your job, even if there's an error, you still want to release those things that you use in performing the task, the resources you use. That is where this finally block comes in. So I can use this finally block to say close file, right? So that is how you handle the error in Python so that it will not crash your program. That is what I want to demonstrate to you. So in the next class, I'm going to show you the second feature, which is what? Assertion, on how to also use that to handle your error in Python. So you will see in the next class. Please do not forget to like and don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so, or you are just joining my class. Please don't forget to subscribe, and also follow me on my Facebook page. So till we see in the next class. Bye bye.